Okay, so check out this thumbnail. I told the AI that I wanted a thumbnail showing a technician that's going to connect to a remote client or user. So, because we're going to connect remotely to Greg's son's computer today, Jack, and do an upgrade from Windows 10 to Windows 11. But this is funny. Notice, I guess on the right, maybe that's Greg, and then in the middle of the thumbnail is me. These are two different environments, right? You can kind of see the separation between the like the wall separation, except because of the features of the internet, the bookcase can be in both places at the same time when we're using Zoom and remote connection. And the plant up at the top, it's actually in both of these places that are on different parts of the country. The desk, a little bit of overlap there. This guy, the technician's desk, is actually intruding into Greg and Jack's area. All right. So I have sent credentials refreshed to Greg's email, but they're not here yet. And I see in chat that Jack was going to do a memory stick, so they are working on it. I have several emails that I've received that perhaps will be responding to them when we have some waiting times doing the upgrade. So this is live, unscripted, unrehearsed upgrade to Windows 11. We'll see how it goes. Now, since we're using Zoom today, you know there's these prediction markets. You can go on the internet and bet on anything you want. So I think there's a prediction market that you can go place a bet as to whether Doug's going to mess up with broadcasting Zoom today. I see over in chat. Let's see. Catherine Anna Hauserman, hello. Ken Stout, hello. Phil Stodd. Lee Huxham, Rick Lakes. Petra Magdat. Let's see. Old Doug Bot, John Downey, Doman 2000, Ran Israel. And Ken Stout leads the pack with starting at topic 1. Let's see what he has done. Chat display, topic 1. Me. It's all about me. It's all about Ken Stout. Now, Greg is one of the cool kids around here. Why is Greg a cool kid? Because he's one of the regulars that hang out on the Ken Stout live show almost every night. All right, Ken, I'm going to send you an invoice for that plug. Now what do we got? John Downey on topic 2. Let's see what he's got. BitLocker. Yes, because he sent a question about BitLocker. I guess since Greg and Jack aren't here yet, and since he has initiated that, maybe I go ahead and start that. Now let's do a move. If I go highlight his name and award him 1,000 points for starting a topic, and then I'll come back to topic 1 and move down and award Ken Stout 1,000 points for beginning a topic. Then if I do, where's that one at? Topic panel up here. I see there's a third topic. Are people going to go nuts with this when I'm handing out points? Whoops, there's nothing there. Why did I think there was something there? Is this, what is going on with that Ken Stout over and over and over? I think it's stuck in a loop. It's a Ken Stout loop. I'm still getting a little used to these, where I've got these buttons. Topic panel. Oh, S. That's what it was. It wasn't topic 3. It was topic S. Topic S is social, and anytime somebody puts in my channel name or hello Doug, something like that. So Catherine Anna Hauserman probably just put in the hello at LWTDB, and that automatically goes into the social channel. So hello, Catherine. Nice to see you. Nice to see your name. I'm not actually seeing you. Maybe we get if we can get an update in chat from Greg or Jack to get an idea how they're come along. If I've got a few minutes, then I will go deal with the BitLocker question. Give me an old-fashioned digital notepad here, which is a digital pen. No, it's not. Okay. Let me go refresh my memory about that BitLocker issue. Let's see, and this doesn't show an email address, so I can bring this up on screen. Doug, a friend, asking for a friend. Doug, a friend is unable to log into his PC because BitLocker is prompting for the recovery key. He does not have the key and cannot retrieve it from his Microsoft account because the verification code is being sent to an old phone number he no longer has access to. The message says you need to enter your recovery key because the secure boot policy has unexpectedly changed. There's a couple significant clues in here. Yes, there might be a way to salvage this. So let's go, and I just, as you know, I'll just go paste your exact content into Gemini, and it came up with some things that were not on my mind. Let's get here. I got to go do a search for it. Oh, you know what? I should show you how I do these searches, I think. Yeah, let's show you that. So I'm coming into search chats. And actually, I need to take that off for a moment and see if my paste buffer is safe and I don't have any passwords in there. Yeah, no, I don't. So that's good. So then I'll go do, I did a copy of that email a while ago, and he says right here, a friend is unable. So if I paste that into here, it shows me the chat that I put that text into. So I can click on that. Yeah, let's not read through it all. I'll send the entire response back to John. Tough spot for John's friend to be in. Reality of the situation, if it's truly gone, yada yada. The secure boot trick, best chance for immediate access. The error message, secure boot policy has unexpectedly changed, is the biggest clue here. It means the drive's data is likely fine, but the motherboard's TPM, Trusted Platform Module, noticed a hardware firmware change and went into lockdown. This often happens after an automatic BIOS update or a drained CMOS battery. Toggle secure boot. Have his friend boot into the computer's BIOS UEFI settings. Find the secure boot option if currently disabled. Enabled it. If enabled, try disabling it. Save, exit, and reboot. Now, let me add a little piece here. I'm likely myself, I would make an image backup of the locked drive. I'm just in case before doing any of this. If it's currently disabled, enable it. It'll be an encrypted backup, yeah, but it's still an image backup. If it's enabled, try disabling it, save, exit, reboot. Reverting this setting to whatever it was before the unexpected change will often satisfy the TPM and bypass the BitLocker prompt entirely. Now, if you want to comment on this, the topic for that, oops, he didn't name the topic. So anybody can name that topic by putting in the topic code and then in quotes. So if I go to chat display, let's see, what was that? It was topic 2. So, oh, there it is, BitLocker issues. So now it's named. And I think you got points for naming it, didn't you? I think that's automated. Toggle secure boot. So we did that. Roll back the BIOS. If the PC recently underwent a firmware change, rolling back to the previous BIOS version can sometimes restore the unexpected environment and unlock the drive. Now, get instructions for how to do that. Just ask the NAI how to do that on your computer. Let's go admit somebody. And I've got myself muted in Zoom and video off. I'm going to turn the video on in Zoom and turn my, let's see. Well, I need to do something here first before I do that. Screen's going to go blank for a moment. Video sources and Zoom audio is off. Okay. So then now over Zoom, you should be able to hear me so that you can mute your YouTube audio. I'll finish on this topic a bit. The secure boot, then toggle rollback BIOS. Warning, tell them not to clear the TPM or reset BIOS to default settings just yet, as clearing the TPM will permanently delete the decryption key stored on the motherboard. So if you have any comments on this topic, do a 2 space and then whatever your comment is. The 30-day Microsoft account recovery. And this direction, whoops, I skipped this one. We got to do this one first. Check for hidden work or school accounts. A lot of people say, I only use a personal account, but then remember they logged into Microsoft Word with the university or company email. When you do this and check the box that says allow my organization to manage my device, Windows often quietly backs up the BitLocker key to that organization's Azure Active Directory. If he has any school or work emails tied to the machine, he should log into myaccount.microsoft.com using those credentials on another computer. Go to devices and check for the BitLocker key there. The 30-day Microsoft account recovery. If he absolutely needs to get to his personal Microsoft account to retrieve the key but doesn't have the old phone number, there is a built-in fallback. Let me try another button here I have somewhere. Output panel, where's that one at? There. Good, this is better. Go to the Microsoft account, log in, and prompt. Okay, when prompted for the verification code sent to the old number, you should select I don't have any of these, or I can't verify my account. This will trigger a Microsoft account recovery process. He will be asked to provide a secondary email and fill out a form with as much identifying information as possible. The catch: if successful, Microsoft imposes a 30-day waiting period before updating security info to prevent malicious takeovers. He won't get his PC back today. What am I on? There. But he will get it back in a month without losing his data. The nuclear option. If the data on the PC is not critical or it's backed up elsewhere, he just needs a working computer again right now, he'll have to wipe the drive. He will need to use another PC to create a Windows installation USB using the Windows Mediation Creation tool. Boot from the USB, format the encrypted drive, completely deleting all partitions, and reinstall Windows from scratch. BitLocker lockouts are brutal, but hopefully a toggling secure boot settings in BIOS does the trick and saves them a 30-day wipe. All right, so that's what. Do I have anything more to add to that? I felt that was pretty good, pretty thorough. Ken Stout Live named the topic. Yes, I can hear you, but I don't think I'm broadcasting that over the channel yet. Is that Jack? Or Greg that was talking to me? And I'm not hearing anything back. Okay, give me a minute before we get started with you. Let's go take a look through these right quick. Ken Stout, yeah, Ken. Hello, Greg. And I don't think I'm broadcasting you yet. Let's see, why can he not hear me? I do hear you, but apparently you're not hearing me, are you? You should be. My audio indicates it's going through over Zoom. All right, I'm gonna have to deal with this because he keeps talking to me in the ear. Oh, you can. All right. Are you hearing me now? You weren't hearing me before? Or are you hearing me over YouTube? Not getting a response. All right, let's go. Let's go jump over here and get this figured out. Get some Zoom panels figured out. Let's see. So we're going to be doing 3 columns, 2 rows. I don't think I have any button that has that arrangement. Oh, no, we have 2. Close that panel down. He'd asked a couple times. He said, "Can you hear me?" And I said, "Yes." And then he said, "I can hear you," but he's not responded since then. All right. Here's whoever placed the bet that Doug was going to mess up with Zoom. Here we go. It's happening.
I can hear you, Doug.
Oh, you can hear me. Okay. Well, you didn't respond a while ago, so I'm a little bit still unsure. Are you doing it? And so that sounds like Greg on Adam's computer, right? There's this long delay. Are you hearing me through Zoom or through YouTube?
I'm not sure how to use this microphone.
Okay. I heard you say I'm not sure how to use this microphone. So I guess we got to get that figured out.
I'm going to mute YouTube.
Yes, you should be muting YouTube and just listening through Zoom. Well, I'm trying to figure out this mess.
All right, I muted YouTube.
Okay, are you hearing me through Zoom? I'm not hearing a response on that, so I'm thinking he's not hearing me on Zoom. Testing through Zoom. Let's see. Yeah, that's the way it ought to go. Lee's getting a chuckle, huh?
What about now? Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. Can you hear me through Zoom? No. No, still not there. Okay, so his audio is still going to keep coming over. He'll test that once in a while. And I'll go see about this response on BitLocker issues. Phil Stodd titled it.
Can you hear me now, Doug?
I can hear you. I've been hearing you all along. Are you hearing me through Zoom?
Okay, I can't hear him.
No.
Let me see.
See, Greg M says, I wonder how many other Windows PCs are ticking time bombs just like this PC.
Look at what you're doing. Audio is totally different beast with different programs.
All right, you need these?
Well, yeah, figure it out real quick. Just let me hop in there real quick. I'll get you set up. Audio is totally different.
All right.
It should be those.
There, I just turned audio off again for Zoom, so you guys aren't hearing them. I'm still hearing them. John Daddy, we're using 30-day account recovery. This seemed the safest. So they're already working on that. Great. We preach it. Yeah. You're hearing me now through Zoom? Okay, let me finish just a couple other items here. So John, I did respond to him by email with that list that we just went through. So they're going through the 30-day account recovery. And he says, never give up a phone number. You're no longer going to use the phone number. You can park it with number barn Cost $2. I don't know who he's responding to there. I didn't do anything with a phone number. Another option is to port it to Google Voice. I think he might be responding to somebody else about this phone number bit and still putting in the number 2. Tip number 2, check your computer for recovery key, then write it down. If it's a home computer, turn off BitLocker. I think he might be responding to somebody else in chat that is not doing the number 2. So anyway, I got through all of that, and I'm going to throw John a couple extra 1,000-point rolls for bringing the topic. Okay. So now I'm going to go back to my audio sources scene and turn on Zoom audio. So you should be able to hear them now. And let's see. So Greg, I'm with you now.
Okay, I hear you loud and clear.
Okay. Then we need to get the computer remotely connected to me. And I sent you a link for that, or you can use the link that's in the description of the video.
On YouTube, I presume?
Yeah, today's video on YouTube. There's a link in there for starting a remote session, and I also sent it to you in the email.
Nah, you don't have to send it to me in email. Or starting the link where it says before starting a session.
Yes.
Okay. Downloading the rescue applet.
And watch the upper right corner of your screen. Once it's downloaded, you click to open it to run it.
Okay, opened it.
Now I'm broadcasting Zoom on the screen, but if you're not coming on with your camera, then I'm going to take that Zoom off.
Okay, the chat box came up.
All right. Then I'm going to go to Log Me and Rescue, right click, chart, start, and then restart applet as a system service. That'll be a prompt on your screen that you'll need to respond to.
Allow access.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, he's got the UAC turned on. Okay. I turned it off.
Okay. Then this launch remote control button becomes available, and that'll be another prompt for you to respond to.
Okay.
There we go. And we'll maximize that. And now we have ignition. Let's see, I want to do a couple other buttons over here. And got the right keyboard and mouse. We'll minimize your browser and minimize your Zoom session and minimize the chat window. And let's go get a little familiarized with the computer, right? Clicking on the start button, he's got some kind of other start menu.
Open shell menu.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm not going to know my way around that as well. Yeah, I was looking to get to the normal Windows settings to show some information about the computer. The show the processor, the memory, and everything. Do you know how to get there offhand?
Was it MS32 info?
Well, we could do that. No.
No.
That's not. I'll get it. I got it.
Okay.
I'm going to use the Windows key. See if that'll work for us. MS Info 32.
Ah.
So we got a Windows 10 Home. And let's do also a WinVer and 22H2. Yeah, we've got an Intel Core i9 9900. I think that's the same that Big Beast build is, isn't it? I'm looking.
I did notice that he's got the BIOS mode set to legacy. Right down
Okay.
below.
Okay, well then that's gonna be an issue too.
I
If
got
he's
my
got an MBR partition.
I got my tripod and my camera set up and hooked up
Okay,
to the
in case we
PC.
need to do that kind
Yeah.
of stuff. All right, very good. Yeah, for those who want to know, Big Beast is i9 9980, and so here he's got the 9900, and it's a K. Let's see. Yeah, BIOS mode legacy, and we're going to need UEFI. So he's probably also got a. Oh, let's see. Now you're going to make me work for it. Disk because of this start menu thing that's off.
I thought there was an option to click on, right click and
Should be a
window.
disable that, right? Open shell.
That's shaded.
Yeah, shaded. Settings. It gets into here. I would like to turn that off temporarily if somebody knows how to do that. Windows key plus X again. Oh, there we go. That's a good one. Yeah, that gets us to the old menu. So there's the system menu that I was looking to get into. Yeah, more familiar area. So 16 gigabyte graphics card, 32 gigabytes RAM, NVIDIA GeForce RTX 5060. So it's just getting a little bit familiar. And Windows key X to get back to here. Oh, thank you for that. And take a look. Here's the C drive. I'm going to right click over on the left side here and choose properties and then volumes and find that we have MBR. So that's going to have to be converted to GPT.
Yeah.
And then change BIOS to GPT. Well, BIOS to UEFI. We're going to have to upgrade the MBR to GPT.
Right.
All right. Yeah, we're going to work for this one.
Sorry about that.
That's all right. That's all right. That makes it more interesting. So for those of you who like overtime, today might be one of those. We got a removable drive connected. Looks like a thumb drive. What's
Yeah, that's how I copied the Zoom link.
Okay. All right, that's fine.
I can remove that.
All right. Let's see,
All right, it's removed.
Yeah, Windows key does not even get me the sys tray. We don't have a second monitor attached.
No.
Okay. So I'd like to take a little bit of a cautious approach before doing the conversion MBR to GPT. And this is not something I do every day, and I am broadcasting, so I am going to go get updates from our assistants with Gemini on it. And I encourage people to use AI when they're doing technical stuff, especially if it's something that you don't do every day. Let's see, where is that one at? Because I already have, I already have an AI conversation on this, and I gave the AI the information about the motherboard. So now I can just come down here and let it know. The drive is using the partition, the MBR partition style. So we need to convert that to GPT. I want you to give me some steps for proceeding with that.
Okay.
That was me dictating to Gemini.
Oh, Sorry.
I'm not asking you to give me the steps. Yeah, at this point, are you just watching through, well, you don't even have Zoom open, so I'm not sure whether you're watching the YouTube or whether you're just talking with me.
I'm watching whatever you're doing.
You're watching what I'm doing on Jack's computer. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're not seeing the response from,
It's minimized in the upper right-hand corner.
okay, you can make that bigger right now if you want to, because I'm not broadcasting Jack's screen right now. So converting your drive from MBR to GPT is the exact right step. Windows 11 requires UEFI boot. UEFI requires GPT partition style. Fortunately, Microsoft built a command line tool directly called MBR to GPT. I've used it many times. It allows you to convert your drive without deleting your files or reinstalling Windows. Critical warning, while this tool is designed to be non-destructive, messing with the partition table always carries a risk. Back up your important files to an external drive or cloud storage before proceeding. So tell me about the backup status. Do you have an image backup? Do you have any form of backup at all?
I don't think he does.
Is that a big concern? If
It
we
is
wind,
as long as you're confident that we're not going to lose programs and files.
I'm 95% confident. Is that
Okay.
enough?
Yeah.
Okay. Because, and I say that because I can't think of any time when I have had to restore. But even that in mind, and particularly when I'm working on a client's computer, I always do an image backup first. That would be difficult for us to accomplish right now and get the upgrade complete. Normally when I'm doing that, I bring my client's computer into the office, and the process may last a day or two. If I'm working on however, usually in a client's situation, I don't do that because usually their data is not on the computer. And if something goes wrong, I can simply image another computer and restore to their computer. So, I don't know what critical level of data that he has on his computer. And Greg, you certainly already are familiar with the topic of backing up.
Yeah.
So it is going to have to be your guys' decision that you feel okay going through with this. It can fail. I have not had it fail, but it could happen.
Could we quickly download Aomi Backupper, which is free,
Sure.
and do a system backup to D drive?
That is enough for me that says let's do it.
Okay.
Because I've given you the option to consider it, and you are, sounds like you are considering it. So let's
Okay.
do that.
Okay, close all these windows out.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll have to go.
Do you already feel, well, I kind of feel it's actually useful to show this to people. I am not acquainted with Aomi, but I think you are. Is that correct?
Yeah, I use it on mine.
All right. I'd love for you to demonstrate that then.
Okay.
Okay, so you keep going. AOMEITech.com. AOMEI Tech. I guess that's Aomi ends with an I. And then did the download.
His downloads go to D drive. Yeah.
Another technique I have used remotely is to, if there's enough free space on the C drive, I'll shrink the C drive down, the C drive partition down, so that there's then a D drive, and create an image backup on that D drive. So that's a way I'll do it remotely or a client's computer without having to bring it in.
His C drive is only a 256 gig, so it shouldn't take too long,
All right.
5 or 8 minutes.
Well, yeah, and it has to do with how much data is on it more than the size of it.
Okay. All right, let's check his free space on D drive. Oh. I don't see it. Under properties?
Yeah, properties to see how much space is
Yeah.
available on the D drive at the bottom, bottom of that menu. Okay, 359 gigabytes free. So let's do this. Let's do the same thing with the C drive and find out how much used space is on the C drive. Now right click on C drive and then properties at the bottom. 134 gigabytes used. Okay, fine. Let's go ahead and start an image backup.
Okay.
So choosing backup and system backup.
Let's go into D drive.
This is asking for backup windows create. So do you click on the C? Oh, it's showing the arrow in the middle there.
Yeah.
From going from left to right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't want incremental, I want full.
Right.
And options. There's nothing under options.
Okay.
Start the backup.
All right. Go for it.
I think I've used this 64 times already because it tells you how many times you backed up.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
On this?
When it's finished, it'll say number 1. This is the first backup we did. And if we did a backup 5 days from now, it would change it to number 2.
Yeah. All right. So your 65 times refers to your computer, not this computer.
Right.
Okay. Good. Good. I feel good about this choice. Let me deal with some comments in the chat room, and I'll come back to you shortly. Okay.
All right.
And I'll ask you just to if you can mute your microphone until we're ready to talk, so that I'm not hearing your sound there, because that's distracting. Okay. All right. There he's muted. Then I'll go back to chat display and look at topic panel. Let's see, that topic is all done. Topic 2 has another comment in BitLocker issues. That one off and turn that one off. Tip 2, check your computer for the recovery key, write it down. If home computer, turn BitLocker off. I think I saw that one already. They're referring to not being able to retrieve their Microsoft account because the phone number assigned isn't working anymore. Oh, John, so that's where, John was saying never give up your phone number. So when you switch to a different phone, keep your phone number. Yeah, certainly. You can park it with Number Barn as a way to hold on to that for $2 a month. Good idea. Arnold, thank you for explaining that for me. I will throw you some extra points for doing that. Then let's see. We got a C topic. Yeah, that's where Rand gave me the Windows key plus X. And Windows X again. Yeah, I guess there was a lot of the cha-ching going on. I need to fix that so it's not a cha-ching, because after a while I'm going to start getting desensitized to that. So 1,000 points on Rand for giving us that, giving me that. In the social topic,
Backup successfully completed.
okay, he just came back into my ear with backup successfully completed. I think that was still going over. So yeah, that's still going over. Chris Garrett, hello, and Catherine has no problems. Mint is brilliant for me. Catherine is loving Linux Mint. Of course, I can't use Linux in the business environment. It doesn't work for businesses. It'd be way too hard to implement. But for an individual person, hey, great, go for it. All right, so back to Jack's computer, backup completed. So much better to do that. See, it didn't take very long at all. So
no, it doesn't.
There's ways to do it, ways to get that accomplished always. Might take a little bit of creativity. Let's see, I did one recently. How was it? Where I had to replace the drive in Baby Beast. I was struggling to find a way to do that because I didn't have a 1 terabyte drive on hand to replace all the content that I have on the 1 terabyte drive that's in Baby Beast. I figured out a way to do it with a 0.5 terabyte drive. But let's not get distracted with that for now. So let's go backup completed. We'll get out of here. Get out of here. Exclusive offer just for you. Nobody else gets that offer. Only Greg and Jack. That's what exclusive means, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, let's come back to what we're going through in here. It told us about the backup important files. So particularly if I'm doing a live stream, you're going to see me rely a lot on this because this is like a checklist. When I'm working on my clients' computers, I may have multiple Gemini chats going on at the same time because I'm working on multiple different projects, and I'll let it guide me through it as a checklist after I approve the checklist. I don't trust it. So phase 1, convert the drive in Windows. This is for the MBR to GPT. So validate, allow full off OS. So this isn't actually going to do the conversion because of the word validate. Then if the validation works, and I've had times where it doesn't, where it indicates there's got to do something else first. So then we actually run the conversion. Then switch BIOS to UEFI. Don't skip this step. Now that your drive is GPT, it will no longer boot under the legacy MBR settings. If you restart your computer right now without changing your BIOS settings, Windows will not load. Restart your computer, rapidly tap the delete key, enter your ASUS BIOS. Now, I prefer, rather than doing the delete key, I prefer to use a technique to restart the computer that will automatically get you into the advanced options. What that technique is, I'm going to turn off the red dot, is go to the Windows button, and this works in Windows 10. Click on Power. The Power button's located at a different place. Hold down the Shift key when you click Start. That's automatically going to get you into advanced startup options, and you can choose to go into BIOS so that you don't have to stress about getting that keyboard tapping right, because it's sometimes that's not easy to do. And then the computer tries to boot without having BIOS reset, and that can get complicated. There's also menu options ways to do the advanced mode startup as well. So let's see. If you're on easy mode, press F7 for advanced mode. That's in the BIOS. This Gemini chat already knows what motherboard we're dealing with. So probably, and it could be worth asking Gemini, did you give me the option specifically for this, the BIOS setup on this motherboard? Still, there could be version differences. So Navigate to the boot tab at the top, scroll down, find the CSM compatibility support module menu, change the launch CSM setting to disable. This forces the motherboard to use pure UEFI mode. If you have been to change from legacy to UEFI on other motherboards, you might not know to look for the CSM option because it's a different labeling in this BIOS. Perhaps if Gemini has given us the correct information there. Your computer will reboot and load into Windows normally. You can go back to the PC health check app. You should pass all the checks for Windows 11. Now at this point, we have not yet upgraded to Windows 11. All we've done here is upgrade from MBR to GPT. We still will have yet to do the upgrade. Now I'm going to ask Jimmy, I'm going to do a little dictation here. Let's see. So, yeah. So Greg, let me know. Have you reopened the Zoom so that or the YouTube so that you can see what I'm broadcasting? No, you can see this in Zoom. Yeah. Are you seeing when I'm reading through Gemini?
Yes.
Okay, great. So I'm going to do a dictation thing here. Did you give me the menu settings for BIOS for this particular motherboard with this particular version of BIOS?
No, I don't think I
No,
passed
Greg,
that.
Greg, I wasn't asking you.
Oh,
That was me
okay.
dictating to Gemini. It says, yes, the menu paths I provide are specifically to ASUS used on your Z390 board. Regarding the version of BIOS, I don't know what version you have. We're not going to go deeper into that because we can find our way through that fine. Just wanted to point out you can ask deeper questions of an AI. Okay, so we are ready to do this bit up here. Now I'm going to, that's right. I can look over that way and I can see what Greg is looking at. We're going to go back up to, here's the validate command. Because I have Big Beast and Baby Beast both signed into my Microsoft account, this usually works. Didn't work for me last evening. I can do copy and paste from Big Beast, and I can copy from Big Beast and paste using Baby Beast into the remote session. So there I've got that command highlighted, Control C, and I'm going to go grab the next command, Control C. Because I have clipboard history turned on, I don't have to do them one at a time. I can copy multiple things and then be able to paste them in multiple sequences. All right, so then I'm going to punch over to Greg's computer, Jack's computer, and minimize the Zoom session. After disabling CSM, remember to enable, and I'll catch the rest of that in a moment. Let's see, let's go make this full screen and minimize Zoom. And then I want to, let's see, does it do search? Yeah, CMD. And we don't get administrative mode here. So how about right click on CMD, see if I get run as administrator. Yes. And then I'm going to go check and see what the rest of that. Comment was from Rand. He says, after disabling CSM, remember to enable secure boot. Yeah, good point, because we'll need that too. And if we failed to do that, so I'll just bring that up over here. If we had failed to do that, then what would happen is when we go run the health check, it would have told us that we could not upgrade to Windows 11 because we don't have secure boot. So then we'd have to go back and do that. So thank you, Rand Israel. There's 1,000 points on that. Okay, here we go. Then I think that cha-ching's an extra time because I got a time. I don't think it's actually given him 3,000 points on that. Now, when I do Windows key V, that's how you bring up clipboard history. But Jack's computer doesn't have clipboard history turned on. We can turn it on here, and it's only going to show the last thing that is copied, which is from me. So there is but that's the convert command. That was the last thing I did. Now, if I come up here to my computer control bar and do Windows key V from there, then I can get into my previous options. So previous remembered items. So I can click that. M&Ms. Sure, if you can figure out how to do that, and now then Control V. Paste will be with the validate command and then enter. Attempting to validate disk 1, retrieving layout of disk, validating layout. Disk sector type is 512 bytes. Cannot find OS partition for disk 1. So what I'm going to do with that is, let's see, do I need to yeah, before I can bring up browser on Baby Beast, I need to check and see what I have. Oh, I don't have browser open at all. So I'm going to bring up the Gemini conversation on Baby Beast and do a copy and paste. I'm not going to tell it what the response was. Over on the left side, I'm scrolling down to get past all my pinned items. And then the most recent thing that's not pinned is going to be this most recent chat. Oh, I saw it was also at the top of my list there. Okay, so there I've got that. Then I am looking at Baby Beast now. And if I come back here to Jack's computer, with my mouse in my computer area, down here is Jack's computer, but up here in my area, I'm going to do Shift Windows S for screen capture. I'm going to drag the mouse across that message and then Alt Tab over to the Gemini chat and paste that. You're probably hearing my keyboard rocking, hitting the table. I'm going to make an adjustment and see if I could stop that. Yeah, I'm not going to ask it a question about that. I'm just going to hit enter. It'll understand that there's an issue there to deal with and respond to me. So I suspect we're going to be having something to do here with disk part. Yeah. And let's see. I see the error message. Cannot find OS partition for disk 1 is a fairly common hiccup with this tool. I don't think I have the orange dot tool on here. No, I don't. It typically happens for one of two reasons. Either Windows is getting confused about which physical drive number actually contains your operating system, or your Windows recovery environment is currently disabled. Okay, as I read through this, I don't absorb it unless I say, wait a minute, Doug, think about what it's saying instead of just reading. In fact, this automatically came over to Big B, so I can just punch over here, and this way I do have my orange dot. Which physical drive number actually contains your operating system? Windows recovery environment currently disabled. Here's how we can fix this. Tell the tool exactly which disk to use. By default, the tool tries to guess where your operating system is. In your screenshot, it guessed disk 1. Often C drive is actually disk 0. Let's check and force a command to get it right. In that same command prompt, disk part, list disk, see your connected drives, which one is your main Windows drive, type exit, press enter, yada yada. Now run it again, but explicitly add the disk number you found. Assuming it's disk 0, then this would be the command. Some of you know this off the top of your head. It would have been a little bit of a struggle for me to get to it because I don't get into this stuff often enough. Now, if I go back to Baby Beast and then go to the remote connection, disk PART. In disk part, you can use 3-letter abbreviations. So LISDIS is all you really need. Is that what it's wanting us to do? Oh, I got it over here. List disk. Look at their sizes to identify which is your C drive, and it is disk 0 because it was only 230 some odd. Do you agree with that, Greg?
Yes.
Okay. And that is disk 0. Okay, and then run the validation command again, and I'm just going to grab that over here on Big Beast. It is disk 0, so Control C there. Come back to Baby Beast, and if I just Control V paste here, should get us that command. And yes, it did. Enter, but it didn't do it right. Gave us the help system. MBR to GPT, validate disk 0, allow full OS, exit disk part first. Oh, thank you. Yeah, ran Israel. If you're watching, that command is here. So then Control V again. Okay. Disk layout validation failed for disk 0. Attempting to, let's see, I need to get this bigger. Get bigger that way. Attempting to validate disk 0, retrieving layout of disk, validating layout, disk sector size 512, disk layout validation failed for disk 0. And I'll go grab a screenshot of that. Switch over to Gemini, Control V, paste, and enter. That's exactly what's happening in the image. You successfully targeted the correct drive. Now we have new hurdle, disk layout validation failed for disk 0. This is the MBR to GP tool being notoriously strict. The tool works by shrinking your Windows partition slightly to create a brand new EFI boot partition. When it fails on the layout, it almost always due to one of the two reasons. The 4 partition limit. MBR drives have a hard physical limit of 4 primary partitions. If your drive already has 4 partitions, often caused by old Windows updates, creating multiple hidden recovery partitions, the tool simply cannot create a new EFI partition it needs. Logical partitions struggles if any of your partitions are configured as extended or logical rather than primary. We need to see how exactly your current drive is sliced up. Here's how we can safely inspect the layout without changing anything. How to check your disk layout. Open Disk Management, and I'll just, since we're right here, double click on that, and then shift right arrow a few times, Control C. Examine disk 0 in the bottom half of the window. Count the number of separate blocks, partitions on the disk. Look at the labels. Usually they say things like System Reserve, C, Recovery Partition. If you see 4 blocks on disk 0, that's the culprit preventing the conversion. The usual fix involves safely deleting an obsolete recovery partition to make room. But we have to be very careful about which one to remove so Windows still boots. What does disk management show disk 0? If it's easier, would you like to share a screenshot of that window so we can review the layout together? You know me so well, Gemini. Disk management, disk 0. Okay. Now we're at a command prompt. We can just do that right here. I did a copy. That should launch disk management. I don't have to go do Windows key R. I'll maximize that. Oh, okay. So I think it's the system reserve doesn't exist on disk 0. That might be what's going on. Now I'm going to give it everything here, but I want to spread these columns out so Gemini gets all the content in here that it needs. And then Control-Shift-S, grab the whole thing, then back to Gemini, paste. I'm not going to give it any text whatsoever, just let it evaluate it. Okay, a little distracted there looking at something. Thank you for providing image. Classic Windows installation quirk, your operating system and your boot manager split across 2 different physical drives. Yeah, suspecting that. Disk C is labeled boot. In Microsoft's confusing terminology, boot means this is where your actual Windows files live. Disk 1 system reserved is labeled system and active. This means disk 1 holds the actual bootloader files that tell the computer how to start up. So switch back over to that right here and show here's active primary partition. That was the new volume. And then up here, boot, page file, crash dump, primary partition. So yeah, they're spread across. So it's the system reserved that is on a different drive than the C drive, which is not normal. And to switch back with Alt-Tab, I got to come up here to the top, and then I can Alt-Tab back to here. Disk 1 labeled system and active means disk 1 holds the actual bootloader files, tells the computer how to start up. When you tell MBR to GPT to convert disk 0, it fails because disk 0 doesn't contain the bootloader. It's essentially an incomplete puzzle. To fix this, we need to copy the boot files from disk 1 over to disk 0, making disk 0 entirely self-sufficient. As we're going through this, I am recollecting I have been through this before. How to fix the drive layout. We can handle this entirely through the command prompt. Move the boot files to disk 0. According to disk part, Rand is saying, let's get that on my other screen here. I'm looking at it on my left screen. Oh, he did that on read chat, please. According to disk part, the ST partition in disk 0 is already boot plus system. Yeah, and I'm with you, Rand, because I'm kind of seeing that a little bit of question mark in my mind, because the partition in disk 0 is boot plus system. Right up here it says boot plus system. Down here this is showing active. Now the C is not showing as active. So that is, it seems to me like, didn't Gemini say that a little bit incorrectly? I think that's what Rand is saying here. Let's understand this closer. Disk 1 system and active. No, disk 1 is not system and active. Disk 1 is active, but not system. So that's where Gemini was saying something not quite right. Let's go correct that. I'm going to dictate here, Greg. I'm not speaking to you right now.
Okay.
The way I see it, it looks like active is on disk 1. Oops, it's not taking that. Oh, I'm on the wrong computer. For that, get over here. Okay. And there. I disagree. It looks like disk 1 is active and disk 0 is system. Does that change your advice? I should have said Ran Israel disagrees, right? I see Ryan asking, is disk 0 marked active as well? I think maybe he's asking me to look at that in disk part. Gemini says you're completely right to look closely at those labels, but it actually highlights one of the most notoriously backward naming conventions in all of Windows. No, it does not change my advice. In fact, what you're seeing confirms exactly why the tool is failing. Here's how Microsoft awkwardly defines those terms in disk management. Boot means this is where a Windows operating system folder lives. In your screenshot, this is C drive on your disk 0. Excuse me. System means this is where the bootloader files live that tell the hardware how to start Windows in your screenshot. This is the system reserved disk partition on disk 1. Active is the flag that tells your motherboard exactly which partition holds the system files, which is disk 1. Because colloquial English usually calls C drive the system drive, it's incredibly easy to get these crossed. The core issue remains the same. Your bootloader files, disk 1, are physically different drive than your Windows files. This entirely believable in my mind. The tool cannot convert disk 0 into a modern UEFI drive because it doesn't have all the essential boot files to work with. The steps I provided previously are still exactly what you need to do. Running the bcd boot command will copy the bootloader files from disk 1 over to disk 0, and using disk part to mark disk 0 as active tells your motherboard to start looking there instead. Once disk 0 has both boot files and system files, the conversion tool will run without an issue. Yeah, I'm on board with that. Rand, give me an exclamation mark Y if you're on board with that, since you're the one participating in that conversation. Now, let's get this way. Tell Gemini to look again. Disk 1 is not marked as system. Oh, did it still say it wrong? System means this is where bootloader to, not that one, system. Oh, it's not. It's not. Good point. I cannot keep track of doing a show and thinking and catch those things. So thank you so much.
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
Well, go take a nap, why don't you, Alexa? I don't know why she woke up. Okay. Look again. Let's do, to grab that back, let's come back over here and tell Gemini to look again. So disk 1 is not labeled as system. Yeah, okay. I'm going to dictate again, Greg.
Okay.
Take a look at this again. Disk 1 is not labeled as system. All right. Come on. Give me an enter key. And did not take that on Baby Beast. It's not taking that. Let's go try it on Big Beast. Can I paste that? Oh, something's wrong in Denmark. Ah, there it is. This one is not labeled as system. I didn't get the image pasted into that. %, right. You do have to keep watching it. When I'm using Gemini for work that I'm actually doing here, I am looking through it much more carefully and double checking. So, Ran, I'm really glad that you're watching that. You're 100% right. I sincerely apologize. I completely misread the labels in your screenshot. And this is the AI can get it wrong and it can hallucinate. Now, this isn't quite my definition of hallucinate. Hallucinate, in my experience, it comes up with some really bizarre, weird stuff. This is just wrong. Disk C is labeled system and boot. Zero labeled system and boot. Yes. Disk 1, system reserved and active. Disk 1, system reserved and active. Okay, that is correct. Because disk 0 is already labeled system and does currently contain all of your boot files, that is actually great news, as it means you do not need to mess with copying bootloader files over. So it is making a difference. Why MBR to GPT is still failing? The validation tool is still failing because disk 0 is missing the active flag. Yeah, so disk 0, let's see. Here's the active flag on disk 1. We need to have disk 0 to have the active flag, and it does not. On an MBR hard drive, the active flag is the beacon that tells the motherboard this is the partition you boot from. Because that flag is currently sitting on disk 1, the tool looks at disk 0, sees that it isn't officially marked as the active boot, and refuses to convert it. The corrected fix: since all your necessary files are already on disk 0, all we need to do is move the active flag over to it. Here's how you do that using the command prompt. Run as administrator. I already have a command prompt open as administrator. Go to disk part, type select. Oh, Carrie's chat. Thank you, Dennis. I'm going to read through the rest of these steps here and then go look at Carrie's chat. Right click on the first partition in disk 0. I'll go look at that too before we take any action, but I'm going to read through these steps first. Type disk part, select, press enter, disk 0, list partition, identify your large partition, select partition 1, whichever corresponds to your C drive, press enter, type active, and press enter, which just makes it active. So once you have the partition selected, then typing active, you don't say partition 1 active, you've already selected partition 1. Now whatever command you type in, it acts upon your currently selected partition. Once you have marked the C drive on disk 0 as active, you can immediately run your validation command again. This time the tool should recognize disk 0 as a complete, fully functioning and active boot drive, allowing it to pass the layout check. Okay, so I'm going to bring up chat display and go to all, move to bottom. Carrie's comment should be down near the bottom. Secure boot does not need to be enabled. All right, to upgrade to Windows 11, you need to have the TPM or comparable. So he's saying secure boot does not need to be enabled to perform the upgrade. That sounds familiar. That sounds familiar. Now, I'm not sure if that's the only thing he's said, so I'm going to select Spotlight for all of Carrie's comments. And then, so here I'm going to see all of his comments beginning from 12:11. BIOS is in legacy mode. We saw that. To enable UEFI mode on Asus ROG 390 gaming board, restart your PC, press delete or F2, enter the BIOS, press F7 for advanced mode, go to the boot tab, select CSM compatibility. I think that's consistent with what Gemini told us. See, he may have done that before. No, that was recent. Compatibility support module, set launch CSM to disabled. It sounds like the same instructions we had from Gemini. Secure boot does not need to be enabled. Okay, totally, I'm sure he's right on that. TPM must be enabled. Secure boot does not. Cool. All right. Throw a couple thousand buttons on the M. Thank you, Carrie. And then, let's see, what do we have for topic panel? Yeah, that clears everything. Then come back to here. Okay, so that did not change any of the fix here. This part here, nobody has disagreed with or provided anything else, and this sounds familiar to me. So I think we're on track with this. And I'm going to keep that up on Big Beast. Then come back. Rand says no. I don't know what you mean by no. Does that mean you don't disagree? When you do exclamation mark N, you can type a message after that to clarify what you mean by no. You could be saying no, don't do that. So disk part. Look at my recent posts, he says. All right. Oh, we don't have a topic for this? We don't have a topic number assigned for this? All right. All of Rand's topics, or all of these are for topic 3, I guess we'll do. Yeah, there's no topic 3. Topic assigned, add message. So I'm going to do that. Pick all of those. These are all on topic 3. So I'm adding all of those. And then topic reassign execute. So I'm going to assign all of those to topic 3. 13 messages. So any further conversation on that would really help if you would type 3 space and then put in your message. And I will give 1,000 points if somebody names that topic. You can name the topic by putting your name within quotes. So 3 space, and then within quotes, just make it maybe 2 words. And Karen's got a ease US. Now, where did he put that? He did that on reject. Yeah, let's move all of this conversation to 3. So 3 space and then put in your message. EZOS Partition Manager, convert MBR to GPT without data loss. Windows 11 available, makes converting MBR to GPT super easy. I find the MBR to GPT tool pretty easy. I'm not inclined to jump over to that because this is built within Windows. So, thank you, but I'll pass. T3. Oh, let's go. Topic reassign. Rename current topic. Reassign that. And then topic reassign, add message. Yeah, I'm not going to get hung up on that now. I'll move out. Yeah, what did you put in here? Rand versus Gemini. Look at my recent posts, he says. Doing it in disk management is faster and easier. Right click on the first partition in disk 0 and mark it as active. Okay, so you're pulling me to, yes, we can, there's many ways to do something. Somehow it has the system files on both drives. Did he try dual booting? No, it doesn't. No, it's not a dual boot. So what he's saying is doing it in here with, I guess, making this active partition, make partition as active. Okay, there's a different way of doing it. And he's saying that it's easier, so I think I'm probably going to do it that way. But I got a few things bouncing around my head right now. Where do I want to go to? Let's slow down. Let's back off on the 6 different ways to do everything, okay? Let's partition, select partition. Yeah, see, if we do it through the disk part, then we got all of this to do. And that's just making partition 1 active. So this method is just come up here, right click, and mark partition as active. I'm pretty comfortable with that's right, but I'm going to ask for a few of you to give me an exclamation mark why that you agree on that. While I'm waiting for that, I'll just let Gemini chime in on that too. But I feel quite comfortable with that. Rand says yes. And I'm going to let Gemini chime in on that too. Just because I want to take an extra caution here because I don't trust my brain to keep everything straight. The screenshot pasting is not working. Let's try this way. Still not. All right. I'm going to dictate, Greg. How about choosing set partition as active in disk management rather than using disk part? Is my keyboard dead? What is going on there? I think I might have a keyboard. Could become a problem. AAA batteries. Now, see if that pastes. Yeah, that's working better. But still not pasting a picture. Screenshot. No, it still didn't do enter. But I have lights on my keyboard now. Okay, that's Big Beast now. I did get a couple of exclamation mark yeses, so we'll move on with this. I'm not going to read through that. You can see that it is confirming. Okay, right click, markups active. I'd like to do a restart of the computer. See that successfully restart. It did not tell us to do that. And Greg, you're hearing me now through Zoom. So when we restart,
Yes.
you're going to lose that. When the computer gets restarted, you can go ahead and sign in and relaunch Zoom, okay? So I'll let you go ahead and do the restart. Okay, here we go. Okay, we got been through Rand's comments, Dennis. Might be time to just nuke and pay. No, not at all. We're doing fine, Dennis. But the system will not boot then without transferring, recreating boot files partition domain. Says, I don't know if he's responding to Dennis's question, but the system will not boot then without transferring, recreating the boot part, boot files part. I think he might be referring to making that partition active without having moved the files over. But I think what we've determined is that the boot files are on drive 0. It's just that the active partition on drive 1 was telling the computer that the boot files are on drive 0. Setting the other drive active, yes. Yeah, I think what he's referring to is he thinks setting the drive 0 as active is not going to work. And I don't think that's correct. Okay, what else? Which in case if it won't boot, he won't be able to reconnect. Over here in Log Me and Rescue, it shows that he's rebooting. And if we get this button come live for launch remote control, that means it is rebooted. See, I know Ken Stout probably has direct phone access to Greg. Is that right? Oh, Greg's got a message in chat. Doug, PC says OS not found. Disconnect any drive, press Control Alt Delete. So he's watching currently. Let's bring that up. PC says operating system not found, disconnect any drive, which kind of says that Domain 2000 might have been right. He's in on his PC. Okay. I'm gonna take this. PC not found. Okay, I'll do over here. Upon restarting, the computer says operating system not found. Disconnect any drive. Press Control Alt Delete. I did this after marking the partition as active. To make sure that that step worked properly. That last one was Domain 2000. Many times I've tested that scenario exactly for that reason. Carrie, just a friendly reminder, it's faster and easier with EasyUS. You'd already be done. Well, count the time going to download it, install it, and the live stream broadcast. If I had just been doing the steps, and I mean, yeah, if somebody is doing EasyUS and they're just doing it without trying to do a live stream at the same time, yeah, let me see what we got over here, because we got to find a way to come out of this. Brilliant to test run. By testing the boot sequence before running the conversion tool, you successfully prevented a much bigger headache. What this arrow completely confirms is that my first suspicion was actually correct, despite, oh, I still got another button that's not working. There we go. What this error completely confirms that my first suspicion was actually correct, despite Windows Disk Management confusing throwing the word system onto disk 0. The actual functional bootloader files are absolutely missing from that drive. By marking 0 as active, your motherboard checked the drive, found no bootable files, and threw the operating system not found error message instead of falling back to disk 1. Here's exactly how to bypass that error, get back to Windows, and fix the drive layout for good. Force the PC to boot into Windows. Since disk 1 still has all your original boot files intact, we just need to tell your motherboard to ignore disk 0 for a moment and boot from disk 1. Restart the computer, rapidly tap the delete key or F2 to enter your BIOS. Press F7 to enter advanced mode if you're not already there. Navigate to the Save and Exit tab on the far right. Look towards the bottom of the screen for a section called Boot Override. This lists all your connected drives. Click directly on disk 1. It will likely be listed by its brand name, such as Western Digital, Seagate, Samsung. Will probably show its 465 gigabyte capacity. The computer will immediately bypass the boot order and use disk 1, load you straight back into Windows. I had no clue that this would work, and I'm a little bit skeptical, but yet on the other hand, kind of maybe sounds plausible. Let's take a look at the rest of this, Greg, before you proceed with that. Phase 2, copy the boot files from disk 0. So it's saying that its original plan was right, and we were proven wrong with what we wound up doing. Now that we are back in Windows, we need, if this works out, we don't know that yet. Now that we are back in Windows, we need to physically copy the boot drives over to disk 0 so it can actually function as an active drive. Click your Start menu, type command. Following command, see the message, final conversion. Yeah, so I don't need to read through that. So Greg, this is your instructions here. Restart the computer, get into BIOS, go to advanced mode if you're not already there, then go to Save and Exit, look towards the bottom for a section called Boot Override, and click on disk 1. It's likely listed by its brand name, such as Western Digital, Seagate, Samsung, so hopefully you'll be able to recognize it there. And that should boot you into Windows. Interesting. I had not come across that before. Greg, give us a confirmation that you're going to pursue that. It is time for you to go ahead and do that. And he says, okay, we'll do, stand by. He says, yes. And once he gets that done, this launch remote control session should come up. You know what? I'm going to take the opportunity for a little bit of a break. Walk away from the computer. And I think let's see if my lobby button still works. I think it doesn't. All right, I'm just going to park that over there. Okay, and we're back, and I see audio. Myself a fresh cold water. I'm almost finished with my second bottle of water. My mouth feels dry. Oh, we have him. He's back. So yes, that technique worked. There's the launch remote control session. I'm going to click on that and take that off screen so that he is free to do whatever he's needing there to complete connection. Looks like he's trying to get connected to Zoom. I'll see if I can help him along just by doing the drop down. And no, that's fine. What is the code? Do. There it is. That worked. Okay. Almost had him back. Oops. Where is he? We're trying to get Greg back into Zoom. I think he and I were fighting on the mouse. There he comes. Okay. Do I have you back, Greg?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right. So did that technique for restarting the computer work the way it was described?
Yeah, all I had to do was go into BIOS and select boot override and select his D drive, and it rebooted.
Cool. That's a new one for me to experience. Okay. So it looks like the original instructions that Gemini was giving us was correct after all. If I'm understanding this right. Yeah, let me get back to, let's see, we're gonna bring your computer on screen after minimizing Zoom. I've got the controls, and let's close that so it doesn't accidentally pop up. There. Okay, and we're back. Okay, here we go. Restart the computer. Boot override, did that. Copy boot files. Okay. Oh, this is, I'm still going to have this keyboard problem, aren't I? Copy boot files to disk 0, boot, BCD boot, puts the boot files on the C drive. And then once we're doing this, I want to see a good restart again before we move on to this. Okay, Windows key, CMD, right click on CMD, run as administrator, Control V, paste. There it is. I'm going to give a moment for me to absorb that a little bit and for other people to have a chance to chime in. But I think we're on a good plan here. All right, not getting any kind of response on that. Enter. And again, my enter key is not working. Greg, can you hit the enter key there?
Sure.
Boot file successfully created. It's just that quick. I mean, not a big deal. Okay. Now disk 0 fully self-sufficient. Let's go take a look at what that has done in disk management. Let's see, it's Windows key X. Yeah. Disk management. So here we have the C drive system, boot, active, all three of those. Disk 1, let's see. Oh, you've got your USB still plugged in. Let's pull that out.
Okay.
All right. And let's restart. Go ahead and do the restart, please.
Okay.
Okay. There, the timer changed when it senses a reboot. Sometimes this timer recycles a second time, but that's particularly when I'm installing updates. I'll typically have the launch remote control session button become available before the computer gets to the login prompt, or at least when it's at the login prompt. And that is if we've restarted the connection as a system service. If we don't do that, then we don't get to see the control session button until Windows is actually running. What's coming up next then is, let's see, we've done that bit. So then final conversion. So we're still working on getting the MBR to GPT. And I will concede that yes, It would be quicker to use EaseUS if you are acquainted with it. And if that's a tool in your toolkit, it is not in my toolkit. If it was, yeah, I could have gone straight to that. This is a process that I never go through because my clients' computers are not custom builds. They are not people who have been changing drives around and such. So it's an area that I very rarely work in. And to be pulled from the path that I'm going on now to go jump to some other utility, I'm not going to do that during a show. All right. I'm also unlikely to go check up on it afterwards because, again, I don't need that in my normal business. I'll go check and see if Greg comes back in and chat. Here it is. PC won't restart. It says missing file. It says missing file or file contains error, then an error code. Press enter to try again. PC won't restart. It says missing file contains error. All right, I'm going to put that in right here on Gemini. After completing the boot CD command you gave me, I restarted the computer and now have a message. PC, the message says missing or file contains error, then an error code. Press enter to try again. That error screen means that while we successfully copied the boot files over to your C drive, the physical drive itself is missing the underlying boot sector code required to actually read them. Because disk 0 was never originally set up as a boot drive, it doesn't have the instructions written into its master boot record to launch those files. Fortunately, you already know the trick to bypass this. Here's how we write that missing code, permanently fix the drive. Boot back into Windows, use the same exact override trick, and let your computer boot from disk 1 for now. Restart the computer, rapidly tap delete key to enter your BIOS, save and exit. Under boot override, click directly on disk 1. So Greg, you can go ahead and proceed with that part. Write the boot sector code is what we're doing next. Greg, you can ignore listening to me. Just go ahead and proceed with restarting it. Once you're back on your desktop, we'll use a different command to write the actual master boot record instructions on the drive. Open your start menu, command prompt, run as administrator, type the following command exactly and press enter, yada yada. This writes boot manager NT60 code to both the partition and the physical master boot record of the drive. Now let's run the bcd boot command one more time, but this time we will force it to write specifically for a legacy BIOS environment, since we haven't converted to GPT yet. Type this and press enter. So it's including a BIOS parameter there because we haven't converted yet. Validate and convert. At this point, disk 0 has the active flag. The boot files and physical boot sector code, it is finally a complete standalone drive. While still in that administrator command prompt, you can run the validation tool directly. MBR to GPT, validate, if it returns validation completed, ready to run, convert. Once the conversion finishes successfully, remember to restart your computer, enter BIOS last time, disable CSM. You'll be completely ready for Windows 11. Whoa. Okay. Greg, if you're listening to me on another device, give me a confirmation that you're pursuing restarting the computer. Ah, my mouth is so dry. Kind of tempted to go touch on other topics, but yet I don't want to get my head out of this topic. Let's see what's going on social. Catherine, important servers run all Linux, Unix. Yeah, I'm aware of that. And it's a good choice. It's not applicable to my small business environment though. John got a laugh somewhere along the line. Ah, he's back. So there's just a 1 minute since he last got Windows started up. Give him a minute to get reconnected to Zoom. Almost there. So for you people who've been chiming in on the tech part, did you know about that boot? I know boot override. I've used it in many environments, but for this application, yeah, I did not know that. So maybe an exclamation mark Y that yes, you are already aware of that, or exclamation mark no is no, that's new to you. Boo. Let's see, did he? No, I haven't heard the doorbell yet, so he's not in Zoom yet. Josh, I saw your question. I'm not interested in that. I'm not, no, I'm not uncomfortable. Dennis, yes, but not for this reason. So yes, no, Dennis is saying, I think he's saying that he knew about boot override, but not for this reason. I'm specifically asking about this reason. When the boot operation gets messed up. See you later, Phil. I don't understand. He had the Zoom credentials before in a text file and now seems to be struggling to find it. Greg, you should be able to get in without signing into Zoom. Looks like he's creating a new account. Greg, if you're listening on another device, just give me a word in chat and I'll take over the controls there and get you in. Last time I tried to take over the controls, it didn't go well. Okay, come on, I gotta take this over. This is not working. No, he's trying to schedule a meeting. No, stop. Let me do it. Let me put up a text message for him. Let me do it. Let me do it. Let me do it. Let me do it. Okay. Go grab the right credentials. So I just chose join a meeting. We don't have to be signed in to Zoom. I'll go grab the meeting ID and the passcode. That's all we need. is. Oh, I clicked the wrong one. It says clicking join, I clicked sign in. I didn't read the message. Read the message, Doug. Okay. Greg, are we back?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right. Okay. Yeah, so did that same technique work for restarting the computer?
Yes.
All right, good. And then I'm going to minimize Zoom.
I never did a save and exit. It just, as soon as I highlighted the C drive, it started rebooting.
Oh, yes. Yeah, when you do the boot override, yeah, I think that is a thing. Okay, so then coming back to where we're at with this, write the boot sector code, boot back into Windows. We've done that. Boot sector code, run as administrator, and then that command. I'm on Big Beast now. Let's see if I'm going to get a copy and paste working this time. Yeah, looks like I am. Okay, bring that computer up on screen. Make it big. Windows key, CMD, right click. Run as administrator. Control V paste. Boot sector, NT60, MBR. Looking back at this before I go forward. This writes the boot sector code to both the partition and the physical master boot record of the drive. Now let's run the boot CD command one more time. Boot CD, BCD boot. But this time we'll force it to write specifically for legacy environment. Okay. Oh, now wait a minute. Did we, is that what happened earlier? Did we write it without doing the legacy environment, which was BIOS? Target volumes will be updated with boot manager compatible boot code, updated NTFS file system boot code. The update may be unreliable since the volume could not be locked during the update. Access is denied. Successfully updated disk boot code. Boot code was successfully updated on all target volumes. Well, that is a little oddball, isn't it? Hello, Sam. And I want to bring that into Gemini. There. And again, I'm not being able to paste. Oh, I know what I can do. Yeah, I've used this trick before. Make that a big screen. Since I'm not getting a good copy and paste of images from Baby Beast into Gemini, I have my broadcast screen open. So on Big Beast, I'm going to use Shift Windows S for screen capture and drag across my broadcast window and then paste that into Gemini on Big Beast. Looks alarming, but I have great news. This actually was a complete success. The specific warning happened because Windows is currently running off your C drive, so the operating system refused to lock the volume. That makes sense. However, if you look just below that warning, you see most important line, successfully updated boot code. Boot code was successfully updated in all target volumes. Your disk 0 officially has the master boot record code it was missing. You're right on track. Here are the final 3 commands to finish this up. Hello, alias Tepe. You're right on track. Here are the final 3 commands to finish this. Set up, stay in that exact same command prompt window. Run these one by one. That is an administrator command prompt.
Yes.
Yeah, you can see that on the title. Write the final boot files with this command. Then we're going to go back to the validate option. Okay. And let's see if my control V gets it. Yes. Hello, 7Cs. Boot file successfully created. And then I'm wondering here. Let's see what it says about this. My question here. I'm going to dictate again, Greg. After doing step 1, I'm inclined to restart the computer to be sure that part is working before moving on to step 2. Because so far, it has not been working well. Fantastic idea, honestly, taking a moment before is how seasoned IT pro would handle this. It confirms the foundation completely solved before building on top of it. Now, let's pick that apart a little bit. Seasoned IT pro would handle this. In my shoes, where I'm at, yes. Somebody who's doing this kind of stuff day after day after day, they might not feel a need to restart right now. If you want to test it, here's exactly how to ensure how to test the disk boot 0. Make sure you're successfully run this command. I didn't actually give it the evidence, and this is something that I do particularly when I'm working in an environment that is not routine for me. This is not a routine environment. It is routine for me to be working in something that I'm not, routinely doing, but it is routine for me to be working in an area that I'm not routinely working in. Did I say that right? I don't know. Now let's do this technique again this way. So I'm going to tell Gemini that this worked. Okay, I did that on the wrong keyboard, apparently. Taking a copy of that DOS screen, pasting that back in. Yeah, step 1. Oh, this is where that was. Make sure you successfully run that. Yeah, so since I didn't give it the results yet, it doesn't know that I successfully run it. Now, I'm not actually going to press enter here because I know that, yes, we did. Restart and enter BIOS reboot. You're going to rapidly tap the delete key to get in your BIOS. Force the boot to disk 0. So it's looking at, it thinks that we're going to have to do that again to override. For permanently changing its partition style. That doesn't seem like we should have to do that. I see your message there, 7Cs. Do you expect that we're going to have to boot override again? Shouldn't this be ready to boot natively without overriding? Without overriding? I don't go back and delete the words that were wrong. I'll just, in fact, I don't always go back and I don't always add the correct dictation like you just saw that one go wrong. And then I did give it the correct word and it will ignore the wrong one. In fact, because your computer gave that operating system not found, we actually already know that your motherboard's default boot order is correctly trying to load disk 0 first. Yeah. The only reason I suggested using the boot override or unplugging disk 1 for your test was just to be 100% absolutely certain that 0 is doing the heavy lifting, since disk 1 also still has its old working boot files on it. Sometimes the motherboard will quietly fall back to the secondary drive if it gets confused, and you might boot into Windows without realizing disk 1 did the work. I don't see that happening because it has not been defaulting back to disk 1. But you're completely clear to just restart the computer normally right now. If it boots straight into Windows without any errors, your fix was complete success. You can then open your command prompt, and then it gives us those other 2 commands. So, Greg, what you're going to do is restart the computer again. And if it doesn't start up, just go ahead into BIOS and do that same trick that you're already intimately familiar with, okay?
Select the root drive.
Yep.
Okay,
All right.
here we go.
Go ahead. All right. Oh, no, wait a minute. It's not, it hasn't restarted yet. What's going on? Restart. There it goes. It's working that time. And then I want to be ready to do the Zoom connection for him because that hasn't been going well. Yeah. Yeah, C7Cs. I'm familiar with parts changing. Did that back when I was working in IT, but this was a new one for me. That angled RGB adapter was that cheap, causing drops on the 3.3 volt rail, leading to blue screens of death. Angled RGB adapter. Is he continuing a conversation? Am I jumping in a conversation he's having with someone else? I've had a similar problem where Windows just installed on where I wanted it to be, but the boot partition onto another drive. To future avoid that, I offline disk via disk part during the install. That's for the 24 pin. Now, I don't recall any conversation dealing with a 24 pin. Yeah, I'm kind of lost. What you went through 5 days ago. This was a new one. Okay, so he's telling this is a whole new subject. This was a new one for me. Okay, so he's telling me 5 days ago. That angled RGB adapter. Yeah, like I know, it sounds like he's making reference to something he's talked about before when he says that RGB adapter. So that's the thing that threw me. Oh, Greg's back. Ah. Okay. I remember to get off screen before I see what he's got on screen. Okay, so now let me do that. And then let's see, I'm going to take that off screen and do passcode, join meeting, join, there's a ding. And there he's back. Should have audio with Greg. All right, you're there?
Yeah, I can hear you and see you.
All right, so did that restart normally?
Yes.
Good. And then minimize that. Okay. So, next. Get a administrator command prompt. MBR to GPT. Validate. Disk 0. Allow full OS. Double checking. Validation completed successfully. That's what we were not getting before. And then, as I have learned to do, because in part it gives me a record of what I've done, and give that back to Gemini. And then go on to the conversion. Let's see, can I do copy and paste this time? Yes. That's convert. Now attempt to convert disk 0. If it's successful, the disk can only boot it in GPT mode. Attempting to convert disk 0, retrieving layout of disk, validating layout. Disk sector size is 512. Trying to shrink the OS partition. Cannot find room for the EFI partition. Conversion failed. Okay, so still got more to do. Hey, Doug, are you going to give EasyUS another consideration? For next time around, we're going to continue through this operation. Greg, did you have any awareness that there was unusual configuration here, that Windows 11 update was unable to do it in the past?
No, excuse me, I went to Windows Update and it just said your license is expired for support and
All
blah,
right.
blah, blah. And it never offered a chance to upgrade to Windows 11.
And so this is not a situation where you've already tried to do an upgrade to Windows 11 and was unable to do it.
He said he got an error saying that secure boot wasn't enabled.
All right. That's exactly what happened in Image. Incredibly frustrating to get a green light on validation only to have conversion fail immediately after, but you're actually at the very finish line. I'm suspecting this is a space. We need to shrink a partition is my guess. Cannot find room for the EFI when you convert. Tool needs to create a brand new small partition around 100 megabytes, specifically hold the UEFI boot files to make room for this partition. Tool tries to shrink your C drive. Even though we know from your earlier disk management screenshot that you have plenty of free gigabytes on that drive. C7 says, wow. Windows occasionally blocks the automatic shrinking process because of hidden unmovable systems sitting near the end of the volume. The fix is very straightforward. We just need to manually shrink the drive for the tool so it has an empty plot of land ready to go.
Oh, back to disk management?
Yeah, let me finish this. I just got a text message I was distracted with. How to manually make room for the conversion. And it's a disk management and target drive. Right click anywhere on your C partition, shrink. Windows take a few moments, and it might not allow us to. I have seen that. Enter the amount. Window will pop up. Find the box labeled enter amount to space to shrink. Shrink. Once it finishes, see new black box unallocated. And then we go back and do the conversion again. All right. Okay, C7, I see ya. Then, so we'll get disk management. That was Windows key X. Disk management. Go for the C. See, the C drive isn't at the end of the disk. So let's see how this works. And then partition tools such as EaseUS has more capabilities beyond what disk management does. Enter the amount of disk to shrink in MB. So we want 100 megabytes. And we don't have a shrink button, meaning it's not allowing it. Size of available space shrink in MB, and it says 0, so we can't shrink it. All right, am I going to jump over to EaseUS? Part of me wants to see what Gemini will come up with next, but I don't think it's able to get past this. Okay, so I'm going to paste that into Gemini. I'm going to do a little dictation here.
I'm going to run and get a bottle of water.
Okay. There's no space available for me to shrink it. Right here, size available shrink in MB. If I was able to shrink it, it would be telling us that right here. Okay, see what we got. See exactly what's blocking unmovable files. Well, now like turning off swap file or some other things, or hibernation. Yeah, hibernation. Even though you have 96 gigabytes of free space, Windows essentially dropped a hidden system file, usually your hibernation or virtual memory page file, at the very physical end of your C partition. The built-in shrink tool treats that single file as a solid brick wall and refuses to move past it. I have been through this. We have two ways around this. Method one, quick 1 second command that often removes the wall. Method two is guaranteed workaround that skips shrinking altogether. Turn off hibernation, the quick try, often simply disabling hibernation feature instantly, yada yada, just how to do that. Do that. And what we expect to see afterward, then delete old recovery partition. If you look closely at your disk management, you have the recovery partition. So yeah, that was on my plate too. Because you're preparing to upgrade Windows 11, which will automatically build a brand new updated recovery partition during the upgrade process anyway, this old Windows 10 one is entirely expendable. Deleting it will instantly give you 509 megabytes unallocated space right where you need it. I'm more attracted to this one, frankly, because yeah, that winds up being an extra partition that's just not needed. Here's how to safely clear it. This part, select 0, list partition, select delete partition. Can we just delete it from partition manager? Empty space. Yeah, so let's go look over here. Oh, no, we can't delete that from there. Let's see. If I right click on that one, can't delete that one. If I right click on that one, I could delete that one. If I right click on this one, I could delete it, but this one doesn't allow me to delete from here. Ooh, I am really attracted to deleting that. Let's see, T3 new total. I did not have a message from him. This part is required because it's protected. Yeah. All right, let's go. Let's go get her done. I've already got an administrator prompt, so disk part SEL DIS 0 LISPAR for list partitions. We want to select partition 2, that's the 509 megabyte. So SEL PAR, oh my fingers, PAR 2. Partition 2 is now the selected partition. DEL PAR OVER. Oh, can I do OVE? I think that one has to be a full word. Partition 2, whatever number. See if it works. Argument specified on it. Yeah, so that's an argument, not a command for override. That should do it. Successfully deleted the selected partition. So now if we go back to disk management. You should be able to see that that is unallocated. So we don't actually need to shrink the C drive now because there's plenty of room available. We could potentially increase the size of it, but that's tiny amount. So we come back to here. We were trying to do the conversion. So I'm going to do another copy paste. And enter. Oops, I'm still in disk part. Paste. Trying to shrink. Yeah, as Ran Israel tell me, exit disk part. Oh my good Lord. Still no good. Okay, select to delete the list partition, 509 megabytes. Delete partition override. Notice the blue information icon in the shrink window. The shrink window. Is he referring to a... There's no shrink window now. Is he referring to a previous? Even though you have 96 gigabytes of free space. Gigabytes? Really? Oh, free space on the C drive. Okay, so apparently it's still trying to shrink the C drive. Attempting to convert, retrieving layout, validating layout, trying to shrink OS. So yeah, it's still trying to shrink the OS partition. Okay, so I guess it can't just use that space. All right, let's go turn off hibernation. Still got an administrator prompt open, I think. Yes, up on the title bar shows it's administrator. Let's go see now if we get an opportunity to shrink here. Does not. Okay. I'm going to do another screenshot. Greg, I think you were one of the first remote support things I did on my channel. Is that right?
Yeah, he made 6 videos of it.
Yeah. Like 18 years ago. Okay, so let's come over here. And I think one other thing I'm going to give it. Scrolling up. Yeah, page file, winter mute. Let's just go ahead and do that as well. Let's see, there was that piece we did. I'm going to give it a screenshot of that. And for the swap file, I think we have to restart for that to be valid. Windows key X to get back to here, and I don't see that there. So Windows key advanced, system properties advanced. Performance settings advanced. Virtual memory. We're going to turn the paging file off. So let's see. There's no paging file on the D drive or the E drive. So C drive, we're going to change to no paging file. We're going to click the set button. Don't want to just go click OK. Got to set it. If you disable the paging file or set the initial less than 800 megabytes, system error occurs. Windows might not record details. It could help you identify the problem. Yes. So, but it's going to prompt for a restart right after that, I believe. So I'm going to go ahead and close down some other things. Answer yes to that. Does it prompt a restart? Oh, it didn't. All right. Well, let's see if we can shrink that now. If it doesn't let us shrink it here, then we'll do a restart. There's, well, yeah, we had the option there before. Since V Manor says create a system reserved partition, he gives me a Google link for that. Or his Gemini conversation, it looks like. And this is still not giving me a size available to shrink. As long as that still says 0, we don't even need to try. So we're going to restart. And when I see your screen come back up, I'll go ahead and join the Zoom session for you, Greg.
All right. Restarting
Okay.
now.
Yep, go ahead and do that. Yeah, this V Manor gives us a link there. We'll go look at that while Greg is getting restarted. Watching his screen to see the restart happen. There it is. And let's see, did I already have a chat room open? No, here. Convert to MBR to GPT without data loss. Can you recommend software that will convert MBR to GPT without data loss? 2 excellent paths. Don't need to download. So is this basically saying the same thing we've been doing? Yeah. For secondary drives, if you're trying to convert a secondary drive Windows built-in MBR won't work on it. Standard Windows disk management forces you to delete partitions. To convert data drive without losing files, you want to use a dedicated partition software. This, you know what? I think I even have Minitool, maybe even a paid version. Disk Genius. Highly recommend it because it's free tier. Oh, he says wrong link. Not the link he meant. All right. See, I get to this so much quicker with this new chat system I have. Creating system EFI partitions. In this modern environment, you might need an EFI partition. Now to create one using a command prompt. Disk part. For MBR disk, we're no longer in MBR. We have converted to GPT. Crucial next step, rebuilding boot files. So yes, we did that. Once successful, you can go back into this part. Are you setting this up from scratch? All right, well, we have all that covered, unless I'm misunderstanding a reason why you've provided this link. Oh, I wasn't showing you that, sorry. Sorry, wrong link. You can't create EFI partitions on MBR disk. This is not an MBR disk. We have converted it to GPT already. This is the content that Zivi sent over in the revised link. But it looks to me like it's all stuff we've already done. If I've misunderstood something about that, you'll need to, elaborate on that. Oh, got to get back into Greg's computer. Let's see. Looks like he's getting in. Oh, yeah, he's getting in because I had the beep there happen. Okay, Greg, are you back?
Yes, I can see and hear you.
Okay, go ahead and minimize all that. So that was restarting after we got rid of swap file. We got rid of hibernation. So now can we do shrink the partition? Nope. Windows key X. Ran Israel, yes, the conversion to GPT did work. And I'll show that right here. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, no. Conversion to GPT did not work because we haven't done the shrink. I'm sorry, I was saying that wrong a little while ago. All right. My brain's getting a little foggy, I think. Why did I think that had already been done? Just because my brain's getting foggy. That's it. We've been trying to shrink the partitions so that we can do the conversion to GPT. Do we have space now available? What about increasing the space to occupy that unallocated portion and then doing the shrink, or letting the conversion do the shrink? Because this is unallocated here. Why not extend the volume into there and then let it do the shrink? See, back in the days before AI, I would have just gone ahead and tried that. But I'm going to let Gemini chime in on that. Okay, paste that picture. I'm going to dictate, Greg. After deleting the swap file and disabling hibernation, I'm still unable to shrink the C drive. How about extending the C drive into the unallocated space that used to be a system reserved partition? After doing that, allow the MBR to GPT utility to then shrink the size of the C drive on its own. Let's see. Okay, Zvi, I see your message there. I'm going to look at this response and then I'll come to your message. That's incredibly clever thinking, but I strongly advise against doing that. If you extend your C drive to swallow up that unallocated space, you're essentially giving that newly freed land right back to the partition. When the MBR to GPT tool attempts to automatically shrink again, it will slam against those same hidden unmovable files and give you the exact cannot find room error. The great news here is that you do not need to shrink the C drive anymore. If you look closely at your screenshot, that black block labeled unallocated is already sitting exactly where it needs to be on disk 0. By deleting that old recovery partition earlier, you completely bypass the need to shrink the C drive. You already have successfully provided the exact empty plot of land the tool needs to build the boot partition, except that it didn't do that. It failed to do that. You can close out of disk management entirely. All you need to do is open your standard administrator comp, make sure you're at the normal Windows System 32 prompt, not inside disk part. Run your final command, convert. It failed to do that. The tool will automatically see that unallocated space, skipping the shrink phase entirely, successfully finishing your GPT conversion. I think we already did that, and it did not work. So let's see what we got over here. Run disk part to check if the disk is in GPT. We already know that it's not. I was misstating that earlier. Create the partition for MBR as instructed in scenario B in the last link that I sent. Okay, so I still have that over here. I believe that was this one, scenario B for MBR disk. Creates a legacy system reserved partition. Disk part. Select this, create primary partition 500. This feels good to me. I'm liking this. We list disk, select disk X, which is the drive number 0. Create partition primary, size equals 500, then format it as system reserved and active, assign a drive letter to it, and exit. Crucial next step, rebuilding the boot files. Simply creating the partition isn't enough. It's currently empty. If you are fixing an existing, this is the same as the partition recently deleted, Rand says. Simply creating a partition isn't enough. It's currently empty. If you're fixing an existing Windows installation, you must copy the boot files into this new partition before restarting, or your system won't boot. While still in the standard command prompt, after exiting this part, run the following command to generate the boot files. Assuming C is your Windows drive and S is the letter you just assigned. BCD boot. Once successful, you can go back to the disk part. Remove the drive letter S. What was this? What was the create system reserve partition? Well, the MBR to GPT, wasn't that going to create, that's what it was trying to do, is reduce the size of the C drive in order for it to create a reserve partition. While this is a valid response for how to create a system reserve partition, this Gemini chat isn't up to speed on the reason we're doing this. The partition was a recovery partition that we deleted. Yeah, understood that. I don't think this is the same partition we recently deleted. Rand thought this is creating the same thing we recently deleted. No, I don't think so, because that was a recovery partition, I believe. Can I? Oh, this is interesting. I don't think I can add that URL to my chat. Let's see. Are you able to access the content in this other Gemini chat? That last one was Rand discussing with Zavi, saying he doesn't see how this solves the problem.
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
Oh, these devices. All right, I'm going to mute that device so it can't hear me. Cannot access that content. Okay, let's just see if I can do this bit. Here's what the other chat was advising.
Sometimes there's an approach, the big game, the big picture that's kind of starting team spirit. And it's an exciting team to watch. Is there anything that you want to say about spirit in this season?
The other chat providing manual disk part commands to either build his While those commands are technically correct for manual boot partition, I strongly advise against running them. Why you should skip those steps. The entire purpose of MBR to GPT is to handle that complicated partition building automatically. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. If you use those provided commands to manually create an EFI partition in unallocated space before MBR to GPT, will likely get confused and fail the conversion because it's programmed to be the one to create that partition. You've already done the hard part. By deleting that old recovery partition, you successfully provided the 511 of unallocated space. You can completely ignore the manual this part, okay, but the problem is what it's telling us to do, I think has already failed. Administrator command prompt, so I don't think this will work. We'll try it again and give it a screenshot to demonstrate that. And watch, it'll work. Because I think we have restarted the computer since last time trying that, so possibly. MBR to GPT, convert, allow for loss. Trying to shrink the partition. I don't think it can. No. Let's get a screenshot of that. I'm going to dictate here, Greg. Let's see, going to start with pasting that image. It is still unable to shrink the partition, even though that extra unallocated space is there. It appears that it is failing to use that 511 megabyte of empty space. That's why I was proposing to extend the partition into that area. You advised against doing that. What if we were to just increase the size of the partition by 100 megabytes? That should provide 100 megabytes of empty space at the end of the partition. Or maybe for extra margin, increase it by 200 megabytes. It took that as 100 megabytes. Some days this business. I have to hand it to you. That's an absolutely brilliant piece of troubleshooting logic. You're 100% correct. I defer entirely to your strategy here. Your understanding of how the file system is behaving is spot on. The unmovable files blocking the shrink process are sitting right at the absolute physical edge of your current C partition. By extending the partition by a few hundred megabytes, it says, you push the boundary of the partition outward, leaving those stubborn files exactly where they are. This creates a buffer zone, genuinely empty space at the very end of the partition. There's this little voice in the back of my head, or this Doug on this shoulder, the left shoulder, saying it's still not going to work. When the MBR to GPT tool asks Windows to shrink the drive, it will grab the empty buffer zone, completely bypass the unmovable files, and succeed. Let's execute your exact plan. 250 megabyte buffers. Perfect, as the tool only needs about 100 megabytes for the new EFI partition. How to extend the partition buffer. Open disk management, yada, yada. We know this, we know this, we know this. Enter your buffer amount, 250. C drive slightly larger. Head right back to your administrator prompt. Try the conversion. All right. Nah, I couldn't, but Let's see. Oh, Windows key X. I keep forgetting to go there. Disk management. C drive, right click, extend, next, available. See, this is where there's no space available to extend into because there's something else going on with this space. So that's where I was saying the Doug on the left shoulder is saying this is still not going to work. Let's see, I want to do this different. I'm not going to screenshot that. I want to drag this out of the way a bit. But I cover all of this. Rand says, no, you can proceed. I'm not sure what that meant. Chris Titus did a good video on this, Doug. Yeah, no thank you. I'm not going there now. Okay. And brain fade. No space available. There's no space available to extend according to this. In the bottom row, enter 250 and click OK. I don't think that's going to work, but I'll show it to you. Let's see. You can only extend the volume to the available space shown below. This is what shows available because your disk cannot be converted to dynamic. So he's saying do 250. Well, it's kind of starting to feel like maybe he's right. 250. Oh, yeah. All right. Why did I misunderstand that? That's a rhetorical question. You don't need to give me snarky comments. See, there's no add button. Disk selected. Disk 0, 250 megabytes. Select the amount of space in MB, maximum available space. Yeah, these numbers down here look right. I was expecting to see an amount available over here. Why not? You can use space on one or more disks to extend the volume. You can only extend the volume to the available space shown below, well, way down below here, maximum available. So this was showing available space down here. Okay, so maybe Gemini is clearing that up. Or maybe the bottom row, that section is if you want to create RAID. Oh, all right. Very good. That's good news. Available. It's only used if you're trying to combine space with completely different physical disks. Oh, so it's going to show other disks that I can add space from. Okay. Perfectly fine to execute. Change the number 509 to 250. Yeah, okay. Well done. Well done, gentlemen. BIOS, confirmation BIOS. That's why, because I was looking for something to confirm my pessimistic outlook at that time. Okay, so that just increased in size. Now we have only 261 megabytes unallocated. Let's see, do I have, yeah, here's the conversion command. Here we go. 2 fingers crossed. Oh, that's looking bad. Oh, there's a failed message at the bottom. Installing the new boot files, performing the layout conversion, migrating default boot entry, fixing drive letter mapping, conversion completed successfully. Call re repair. There, did they misspell repair? Call WinReaper. Repair to repair WinRE. Failed to update RE agent XML. Please try to manually disable and re-enable WinRE. Before the new system can boot properly, you need to switch firmware to boot to UEFI mode. Ay, caramba. More hurdles to jump over. Let's see, what do we got over here? That just means there's no recovery partition. The conversion itself works. That's my impression. Looks like an alarming message. Error is due to no recovery partition. Yeah, that makes total sense. I agree. Great news, the space is actually there, ready to be used. The box on the left, labeled available, only use if you're trying to combine. Whoops, wait a minute. Oh. Is that, oh, I haven't clicked yet. You did it. Your buffer strategy was absolutely perfect. Why, thank you. As you can see right there, you got the magic words conversion completed successfully. You have two very quick things left to do based on the text at the bottom of the screen. Fix the WinRE error. Do not worry at all about the failed to update. It is notoriously common, and I think I've seen that before. Minor hiccup that happens when the tool forgets to toggle your Windows recovery environment back on after moving things around. You can fix it right now. That exact same prompt window, RE-agent disable and re-enable. And then we have to do the switch BIOS mode. Doman says the recovery will probably be fixed rebuild when doing the Windows 11 upgrade. Yeah, I'm inclined to do this now. I've been through that before. It doesn't take too long. Greg, do you understand how to change BIOS to UEFI?
In the BIOS?
Yeah, these are the steps right here. You could take a picture of it with a cell phone. Then if you have trouble with it, we can do some cell phone work, but I have the capability of connecting remotely to your cell phone camera. But here's when you get into BIOS, you go to advanced mode, the boot tab, and then go to CSM, which is compatibility support module. Launch the CSM setting and change it to disabled. And then double check that PTT is still enabled under advanced PCHFW configuration menu. Now, if you prefer, we can go ahead and get connected to your cell phone camera to be able to go through it with you. You'll need to connect some other method of Zoom, perhaps through your cell phone. But if you feel okay with trying this.
Yeah, I've got Zoom on the phone. I've connected to Ken's a few times.
All right.
Want me to do that first?
Do you have the credentials available on your phone? Do you have the email that I sent you to use? You don't.
I've got the email, but.
Okay, in the meantime, while you're pursuing that, I'm going to go ahead and do these two pieces.
Oh, meeting ID.
Let's see, that is just came back because I think I hit the oh, he's working on that.
I just
Yeah,
took
he's
the
going to go
thumb
look up
drive
the
out.
he's going to go look up the credentials. I can show you. Let me have the mouse there on for a
Okay.
moment, Greg. I'm going to display. That's the passcode for the Zoom session. Can you either write that down? Probably you don't want to take a picture with your cell phone because you can't look at your picture and type in the credentials at the same time. Let me know when you have that. Do you have that written down, Greg?
After the G, is that a number or a letter?
After the G, that's letter O.
Okay. All right.
You
Want
got
me
the
to
rest of
type that in? Type that into the cell phone?
When it asks you for the passcode, but you're going to need to have the session ID first. So I need to get that for you. Let's go. Let's see, I'm going to do that. I'll do that over here. Give me just a minute. There's the meeting ID. You see that?
Yeah. Okay, so I select join.
Select join, put in that meeting ID and put in the code.
Select join. Ah. Meeting passcode.
That one's the one that begins with the number 2.
All right, I got it. Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to go do these two. Bring his phone into Zoom. Okay, I see your phone. And I'm muting your computer's microphone so that you can use the phone microphone. Do you hear me? And can I hear you? I'm not hearing Greg. Okay. Now let's see. Agent disable. There we go. So here's the disable part of this. Windows RE is already disabled. Enable it. Not found. We might be going back to letting it automatically be recreated. Will this automatically be created in the rest of the processes we're about to do? Since this manual method did not work. Greg, I'm still not hearing you. It's not found. Apparently earlier in our troubleshooting, old partition got wiped. Yes, it'll automatically be created in the next process. Not need to spend any time now. Windows 11 upgrade handles it. I think it was Domain 2000 that was pointing that out a little while ago. Does not affect booting. Yeah, it's a recovery environment.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay.
Good. Let's see. So gonna ready to restart the computer now. Let's get you. I'm gonna make some adjustments to the Zoom setting. I'm gonna turn off the video for the computer, and that doesn't get me to two screens. Let's do. I want to drop you out of Zoom on the computer so that I can bring your. No, wait, I know the way to bring the phone up. I'll just spotlight your image. Okay, try turning your phone sideways.
Left or right?
Left. Doesn't actually matter which way you go.
That's as far as I can go
Okay.
with the cable.
All right, with the cable. All right, so try turning it right. Yeah, the image still isn't changing. So I think what's happened is you've got your orientation locked on the phone. Is that an iPhone or an Android?
Android.
Android. I don't know where the command is to unlock orientation. So does somebody in chat know how to unlock the orientation? I'm going to show on stream what's going on with your phone image is we're seeing it this way. So no matter which way he turns the phone, it's showing in portrait mode for us, and we're seeing his monitor standing on its end. And I think that's because the phone isn't switching to horizontal orientation. But we can go ahead and pursue with this. So at this point, we have achieved the GPT partition style upgrade. So what has to happen next is making the changes in BIOS. So I'm going to close down some things on the computer. And we'll close Zoom. Close that. Yeah. Okay, so then we'll restart. And I'm going here to restart. I'm holding down the shift key. That should get us into advanced startup mode. And when you get there, Greg, then you'll, well, we can talk you through it because we're going to see the image on your screen. So here's restart.
All right.
And now I've brought up Zoom on stream so people can see through your phone.
Says choose an option, turn off your PC.
What are there other choices there?
No,
I'm not seeing it through your phone. Maybe you need to point your phone a little bit to the left. Yeah, can you see the image through your phone, or are you holding the phone backwards? Can you see what you're showing me? Because okay, turn off your PC is the only choice there. Yeah, that's not. Oh, you've got that all. All right. Do you know what your key presses are to get into BIOS?
should be F2.
Okay, well, go ahead and do the turn off your PC. That looks like it's going to turn off the computer and not restart it.
Okay, F2 doesn't do anything.
Well, no, you
Delete
got to press enter to choose turn off your PC. It's not time yet to press the key. So now start pressing your key rapid
right.
fire that you think is right for getting into BIOS. I see your comment, Zavi, and that is a legitimate way to go as well. And I have done that before, but shift restart also works. Except I can't say about this unusual configuration. That's the kind of things that happen when somebody's got something out of bounds. There, press delete, rapid fire on delete. Says at the bottom of your screen says press delete. There we go. We got BIOS.
Okay.
Okay, so now I didn't hear an answer from you. Are you able to see on your phone what you're showing me? Was that a no?
Yeah, I can see.
Okay.
I can see.
So you need to go to the boot menu. Is there a boot tab? I'm not seeing all of your tabs.
Yeah, there's a boot tab.
Can you show it to me through the phone? There it is. Okay, so go ahead to the boot tab.
Okay.
Okay, and then we're looking for CSM.
Yeah, it's the second selection now on CSM support module.
Okay, go ahead and choose that.
Okay. It says launch CSM enabled.
Yeah, click on that drop-down menu.
Okay.
Change it to disabled.
Okay, click. Okay, it's disabled.
Okay, good. And then we want to look at the PTT, I think it called on that motherboard.
Yeah,
And I'm looking,
under advanced,
I think so. I'm going back to look.
trusted computing.
I think that's it. Go ahead into that.
Come on, this mouse is so sensitive. Okay, TMP security device support enabled.
I'm trying to see it through your phone. Oh, there. Okay, so I see enable. Is it that top one there?
Yeah, security device support enabled.
Okay. Give me just a moment. I'm looking at something else over here. PTT, Interbios, advanced. So you've had on, let's look at, is there you're in the advanced mode, PCHFW menu?
No, there's nothing there.
Okay. I think you got the right one, but I'm looking. Let's see. You are in advanced mode. I can see at the top of your screen. You're on the advanced tab. Scroll down to select PCHFW. So there's a scroll bar. It doesn't look like it scrolls very far. But there's nothing on the left-hand side called PCHFW, but there was one called PTT, correct?
No, I don't see a PTT.
Okay, can you show me the left side of the screen so we can see what you're seeing? Because you're not actually aimed at it. You having trouble with your cable, your power,
Yeah, the
connection
cable
for
for
the
the
phone?
phone is short.
And your phone doesn't have enough battery power?
Oh, it's
Off.
got battery power, yeah.
Why do you have to have a cable attached?
Well, I thought I did.
No? Yeah. There's
Is that better?
TPM 2.0 at the top, device found, and then the next one, security device support is enabled, and then active PCR, available PCR, SH1, going down, SH, pending optimization, platform hierarchy. Can you move your phone closer to the left bottom of the left side? Okay, that you turn the phone. I'm asking for closer.
But
You must be having some kind of issues there with space, it seems like. Okay, there's TPM 2.0 UEFI version, shows us the version. All right, yeah, I think we got everything there. Let's see what
exit.
PPT is an AMD processor. Yeah, we're on an Intel.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Zavi. Yeah, go ahead and exit restart. So now we're expecting to restart into Windows with GPT.
Exit, save changes and reset.
Yeah.
Disabled and disabled. Okay.
Yeah, showing you what changes you made during this session. Okay.
Everything else.
That looks all right.
Okay.
All right, I'm taking you off screen. You can relax with your phone. It looked like you're having difficulty getting the phone into a good position there.
Okay, it's rebooting.
All right. I guess you don't need to see all that. Wintermute says a shift restart will only work with a working recovery environment. Oh, that's interesting.
Okay, join Zoom again.
Yeah. Oh. Let's attribute some points too. Shift restart will only work with a working recovery environment. Okay. That's new to me. Upgrade to Windows 11 next week. Well, I guess as long as we're leaving them with a functioning computer. But we could start the upgrade. We just won't have to wait through it. I'll let Greg decide that.
Okay, I'm at the Zoom window. Join. I got to put that big hyperlink in there.
I'll get it. I'm connected to your computer. So here, Greg, I'll show you if you just this drop down here, and then click here on a recent one. So that's there. It's got your name, and then join, and then it's that. I almost have it memorized. I'll get that here for you in a moment. I took that. Oh, there it is. Yeah, I'll paste that right there. That should have pasted right. Oh, no, I didn't do the right one. That one. And paste that one.
There we go.
There we go. How many think I'm going to end this when we end this session, that I'm going to jump right over to working on a client issue? Okay, let's see. I'm going to take your phone off of Spotlight.
Don't need my phone.
Let's leave that connection for a little, because right now that's your. Oh, did you have Zoom?
Yeah.
I guess you can. I'll put your phone into waiting room. You could disconnect if you want to, but still a possibility we might want to get back to it.
All right, we'll leave it on for now.
Yeah, so there your phone's in waiting room. And can I hear you? Gonna get a sound check?
Sure.
Yeah, okay. So we got his audio coming through the computer now. And let me minimize this stuff before coming back on screen with it. Okay. Windows key X. I want to see in disk management the GPT. there's our 100 megabyte EFI partition. Go to properties, volumes, there's GPT. So Greg, the question to you is, we can start the Windows 11 upgrade now and then let you finish. We're not going to stay on stream while it's running the whole thing through. Or your computer is functional now with a GPT and we can do the upgrade to Windows 11 next week and stay with it until it's done. And either way is fine with me. What do you like?
Let's wait till next week.
Okay. Very good. We'll do that.
All right.
The computer is up and running, completely functional now. So I'm going to exit from the remote session. And
All right.
thank you very much for bringing this to us and letting us work through this.
Thank you for all your help.
You're welcome. See you
All
next
right,
week.
Okay. Bye.
Okay. Bye. Ended the Zoom session. And I think that'll do it. I don't know that I have any messages to catch up with. I think all of those read chat please has been answered. Here is this last one. Rand saying, well, that was fun. Yeah, wasn't it? And then here, let's see, I got last few here. See, alias TP, C7, covered that. Make sure the conversion worked. That was earlier. Sam, yes, I did see your email. Sam, I do have several emails from people. And Sam, I'm going to give you I'll reply to your email with some stuff, but that's just an AI response. I have more thoughts beyond that. And it deserves a more significant conversation, but I am going to have to defer that. And I'll just acknowledge the other emails that have come through. If I keep getting this much questions coming through and requests, we're going to have to get more than one stream a week. Yeah, there was a BitLocker issue with John Dunning. We did a response on that already because I had sent him an email response. And then Pavel Novak, also known as Commendatori. I will need to respond to that one later. And also Selden Ball regarding USB security keys, and Sam Lazar regarding essentially a business, a little different business venture. I definitely have some things I'd like to share about that. But no, I'm not going to get it all done today. All right, everybody. Thank you. Let's see. I'm going to take a look at something here. 42 people watching now. Didn't dribble down to the single digits with this long stream. An hour and 48 minutes overtime. I don't think I have anything else to add to that. And here we'll go punch out. Oh, I know. I want to turn off that bit first. Yeah. Have a great weekend, everybody. Goodbye.
That's all, folks.
Tune in. Days a week for Windows support, the help you seek. Send an email, leave a comment, join the chat. Our tech-savvy crew is where it's at. Not just me, but a whole community, helping you solve tech mysteries. With friends who are here almost every day, we love to chat and help you find your way. So subscribe now, be part of the team. For Windows support and more than you dream. Join the fun, don't miss a single stream. At LiveWindowsTraining-DougBetts or simply where tech support supreme. Where tech support supreme. Tune in days a week for Windows support, the help you seek. Send an email, leave a comment, join the chat. Our tech savvy crew is where it's at. Not just me, but a whole community, helping you solve tech mysteries. With friends who are here almost every day, we love to chat and help you find your way. So subscribe now, be part of the team. For Windows support and more than you've dreamed. Join the fun, don't miss a single stream. At LiveWindowsTraining-DougBetts or simply more deeply VB, where tech support supreme. Where tech support supreme. Where tech support supreme. Tech support supreme. Where tech support supreme. Where tech support supreme. Where tech support supreme.